and I am excited about all of what is happening. I'm enthusiastic because hope is on the way, and I feel like we are gracing for a new Liberia, and this is so exciting to be a citizen of this beautiful country, hailing from Gamu, Panta District, District 4. And all of our constituents and supporters, citizens of the district, of the county, this is a new day. We are truly embracing a new era now that I believe Liberia is destined to grow effectively and hits a new milestone in our direction. So I'm very excited about being here today. Thank you so much for having me in studio.
Okay. One case, the latest news in town in Bongese that you won case against the National Elections Commission of Liberia. How did it all go? What led you, going to the court? Why?
My brother, let me first say God first in every single thing we do. God is supreme. He has motivated the people. And to be honest, Quanuquanei did not win case.
Okay.
The people won the case. Fighter. People who will stand between good and evil and stand for good, even when the odds are against you. Always stand for the right thing. And this is what our campaign was about. It was not about an individual. It was about the everyday people who voices have never been heard. And it still remains to be about the people. So the case going all the way to the Supreme Court was just following order. We were following the order of the people, that this is what they wanted. They wanted their voices to be heard because they legitimately got up every single day. They went in lines and they passionately voted their rights. They used and exercised their political rights to be citizens of this beautiful country that we have. Unfortunately, in the old Liberia, there are individuals that have demonized the system to a degree where our people have never understood or even saw a glimpse of day of their rights. This is not about the results of even the recount. It's not even about the result of the election. It's about standing up for the people. And this is exactly what we vow to exercise. And that's what we're going to be doing for the next 10 years.
So, Court of Liberia called a recount in Molokwa and Yuri. Are you satisfied now?
At this point, we're just getting started. I believe that the beginning of everything starts with a spark. It's just like when you light that little matches and you put it in a coal and you got to keep blowing it until it catch on fire, right? So right now, we go to a recount. We start with that. We are excited that this has been granted to us. This is about the people's choice. This is about the people's will in a democracy. This is about God's will for us. So for me to tell you that I'm completely satisfied, we're not there yet. We're just getting started. We need to know what happened in that room. We need to be able to get deep into it and be able to go through the exercise in this recount successfully, going through that process and then giving the people more information about what we saw, what has been granted, and whatever happens in the end, we want to make sure that it's fair and it's just. And today, justice has come for the people of Liberia, and I got to commend the justice system from the top. People always complain about the justice system in this country. I can tell you one thing, it starts from the top. And when the top is willing to fairly look at the case, look at evidence, and be able to pass down judgment on behalf of what they see and not what they heard, it's more important to our justice system and our country moving forward. And this is what I saw over the course of the last couple of weeks going through this exercise. Our country have a lot of hope, especially given the fact that we're sitting with a new president now. This is his agenda. He wants zero tolerance for corruption. It starts in District 4. And it starts with our movement. He wants agriculture to predominantly rule this country so that our people can realize that it's important for us to have sustainable food and mechanized growing of our food. This is what we've been laying the platform for and doing in our district, even before we ran for election. So we fit the model of what the president is thinking at this point more than ever before. And the justice system is proving that they are also in alignment with the president's agenda when it comes to zero tolerance for corruption.
In the Supreme Court rulings, they mentioned that there were irregularities. The hearing officer of the NEC, the Board of Commissioners, ignored that, and even said in reference to the incumbent representative Rawa Mumbai complaint. He only on complaint along with you at the local office here. Your complaint also coincided with his that there were irregularities. You think why networkers will be in such dishonest act, increasing the number for another president to be the favorite candidate over the others?
As I said, that's a thing of the old Liberia. The old Liberia.
They just figured out money, those guys who were assigned there to go and corrupt the system.
I wasn't there when they were making their deals. Okay. I wasn't in the room when they were having their conversations.
Okay.
I was with the people. But one person was there, that's God. He was watching the whole process. He was not satisfied with it, so he exposed it. And he exposed it at a time where people like me were willing to fight to the last blood, to the last raindrop, that regardless of what happened, regardless of how things have been painted, we will fight for the people. And so we took it. Once we got the evidence in our hands, we presented it back to our local NEC office, and they were threw it out. They came out with some biased reasons for why they wouldn't hear the case. And we were not satisfied. We're not going to turn over and wait till 2029. This is not about waiting for our people. You know how many people will die between now and 2029? Do you know how many people will be suppressed between now and 2029? So when I hear people say, wait your turn, this was never about turn. I told my people, I'm not a politician.
You are not care about leadership. You are not care about the position business.
It's not about the position more than it is about the people.
Okay.
Because when you make it more about the position become material.
Okay.
And when the material have materialized in the minds of the leader, it's no longer about the people. So for me, it's always been about the people. Because the people are the one that defines a leader. And if the people's definition of their leader is corruption, is lying, is stealing, is envelopes under the cover that disregard the people, that leadership is always going to be a demigod to the people. So this has been more about patriotism that lies in cahoot with the people, more than patriotism that lies in cahoot with party lines. Because the party is not bigger than the people. That's one reason why I registered as an independent candidate. So my allegiance is toward the people. It wasn't to any party. Okay. So for that reason, when you ask the question about how does that define our leadership now, our leadership moving forward have to be about the people of this country. It cannot be about a leader. It has the leader's success only comes when the people demands and needs are met in the district. And this is what we're about to do.
Similar to ongoing electoral district number 1. How did you manage coming out, from the Supreme Court successfully? Others are still struggling. From Maryland County everywhere, people are still at the Supreme Court, others at the National Elections Commission office, the Board of Commissioners. How did you manage?
My brother, the secret to how we got there is God. G-O-D. God. Honestly, I'm just an average person from a small little quarter in my village called Quanuquanei Karmue, the smallest quarter in the village. I'm just as average as any of the person that you see in the villages. But God's timing and God's wisdom penetrated in this process, exposing to us what we needed to see at the right time. And everybody who we needed to meet along the way were just there right enough to meet us. This is not a process that we know too much about, but it's a process that God held our hands on behalf of the people. The entire district is praying for this stuff. They want justice to be served. They want if we lose while fighting fairly, We will congratulate the winner, but let us not lose on our knees while people are demagoguing the process. So this whole process was led by the living God who told us, follow me and I will show you a way. I will show you the truth. Things that I've done behind closed doors, I'm going to show it out. I'm going to bring it out because it's time for the people to realize that the God that I serve, He's the same God that laid that road. He's the same God that's doing that farm. In December, it's raining. He's the same God that's getting the rain to come down on the rice in Shempai. He's the same God that have now shown up in this process and said, you know what? It's time for the people to be for the suppression to be lifted from on top of the people. So that's how we did it. There's no other way. We didn't have a special way that I can tell you. If you follow this plan, you follow that plan, you will get there. The living God showed up and decided to pave a way and then left it between the judges and God because all the cases were presented. Everybody presented their facts. And at the end of the day, it was just left with facts and God opening the eyes of the judges to see the truth for the people.
What would you like to recommend? What would you like to recommend to the incoming government of Ambassador Joseph Boakai about revamping some of these sectors, some of the institutions, so that the issue of credibility can be the order of the day?
Well, my brother, I can never tell you that I know it all because I'm still learning myself. Um, but I really believe that this is the right time. And let's really understand that there's a new Liberia that's dawning. There's a new day in Liberia today. That we are breathing this air now about the end of this year. Liberia is never going to be the same again. And my humble understanding of where we sit now to any government at this point is that make it a people first government. Understand the nature of the people. Study the history of where we've come from. The things that have entrapped us for 200 years. Understand it and do not repeat the things of the past. Look at the geography that never changes. The geography never changes. People say history repeats itself. It's not history that repeats itself, it's geography that repeats itself. And the geography has to do with the people, the land, right? The atmosphere of the land. And if we study the geography, we can transform our nation just by looking at how things are repeating itself. For example, if you go out and drive on the highway, what do you see? Bunch of grass everywhere, right? Every year the grass is going to keep growing. It will keep repeating itself until we can do something with that land. And I understand that the president is really heavy in agriculture. His motto is that agriculture should become the predominant factor for how we grow Liberia, right? And we can lay roads that leads to farms. Then those farms can be developed to a degree where we as a nation can feed ourselves and start to export food out of Liberia. That's been our message for the last about 5-6 years now. So I believe that the president is already sounding the right tone at this point. And secondly, corruption. Corruption, we have to get rid of it. It is a cancer.
Okay.
It is a cancer in our society. And if we do not take it vehemently, like how we can grab a wheel of a car and drive it, if we only talk about it and do nothing about it, it's going to be a rusted nail, right? That continues to rust everything in the society. We have to get rid of it. And to do that, we have to pass laws. We have to be able to follow all of those laws and make sure that our friends, even those who we call friends, if they have to go to jail for things that they did to corrupt the system for the masses, then they have to do that. So I can't give advice to a degree where I start to sound like I know it all, but I believe that the president is surrounded by some sound-minded people, and he's also being counseled by some amazing people, respectable individuals who are ready to lead this country forward.
Citizens of the district who supported you, who voted you tirelessly, they were in the ring on the song. What would you like to say to them? And maybe legal proceedings. What would you like to say to the citizens of your district?
I just want to extend my heartfelt gratitude. My heartfelt gratitude because it is the citizens that gave me the chance to exercise my leadership. It is the crisis that we face with our citizens that gave me the chance to become creative. And it's God who led me to open my eyes, to be able to sit on the ground with my people, to understand them. And the citizens are the most precious things that we have in this country. And if we disregard the citizens, we are disregarding the future of leadership. So I want to tell every single citizen, thank you, whether or not if you voted for me.
Okay.
I believe that the fact that you were so passionate about getting out to exercise your political rights, it make you a good and a decent citizen of the country. It doesn't matter what side you went on. The fact that you tirelessly worked hard to be able to get out there and motivate other people to participate in the democratic process that our country have been thirsty for so long. Other countries go to election and go to war. Other countries go to election and there's no peace. But you can walk on Banga Street right now. People are just doing their normal business. The election's over. If you used to be enemy with somebody, make friends with them now. We still have to build this country together. So I'm very encouraged by the turnout. I'm encouraged by the enthusiasm that took place within the minds of our people to become part of such a unique process. This is historic. Look at Sierra Leone. They won the election and nearly went to war.
There's still tension there.
There's still tension there. Liberia has set a new stage. This is why I'm calling this the new Liberia. And I believe it's only gonna get better as we move forward. But it takes leadership that have common sense for loving the people. It takes leadership that will put themselves down and put the people up. It takes leadership that will look at deals that is coming in these communities and not give the deals away and let the people suffer. It takes leadership to know that the people have to come first. The country have to come first. So this is what I'm looking at, and this is what I believe. I'm very hopeful in the people. I'm very hopeful when I see that the people are striving. They're not begging for a handout. These people are going and making their farms. They are working every day, and even they get a little potato green from that farm. They are making life happen, and all they need is encouragement for our country to get better.
You are aware that citizens from across the district supported different candidates, different political parties. What would you like to say about reconciliation? After the election, are you thinking of reconciling with others who contested or you guys contested for the same position, also supporters of these different candidates? What can you say about reconciliation?
Reconciliation is the only way our county will become stronger. Reconciliation, peaceful, loving, genuine reconciliation is the only way forward. I can't do it on my own. Honorable Wume can do it on her own. Honorable Jonah cannot do it on her own. Honorable Susanna Mantel cannot do it on her own. These people ran because there was a sense of love that they had in their mind for their people. Whether or not they had a different way of exercising that love, that's a different story. But honestly, every single one of them that ran, they ran for a reason. My reason may be a little different. I may have a little bit of an edge, right? Because I'm forecasting our leadership for the future, right? Most of my opponents may have forecasted their leadership for the now and the past, but that doesn't make us different. What makes us unique is that we are all Liberian. And that if you really love this district, the next time we do run Liberia, come out and walk with the citizens. If you really love this district, the next time another candidate or aspiring is having a program they invite you, go out there and support them.
Okay.
Don't hold something in your heart. And if you didn't vote for somebody, when you see me walking, please say hello. I'll say hello back to you. Right? Because, my windows are always down for that reason. And I'm always honking when I go into the village because I love people. I love people. And I want our people to understand that the way we make this country to work for us, we have to be genuine with one another. We have to be able to look each other in the face and tell them the truth and still love them. If you make promises during the election, please go back and fulfill those promises. If you told a bunch of students...
What are we or lost?
Whether win or loss,
Go
if
back.
you told a whole bunch of students you pay for their school fee,
Yeah.
please go and try your best. Even though it may be tough now, find a way. Let's work together. Let's fulfill those promises to our people. Those are the reconciliation that we need. It's not just to each other, but it's also to the people. And it's also to the villages that connects with one another. They need to understand that they all have the same thing in common. The same struggle that they're facing in Gamu, they were facing in Bangasakole, they were facing in Fokole, they were facing in Merkwa, they were facing in Yowi. Those are the same struggle. That's what we have in common. So the only way we can fix it is when we come together as a people to be able to work hand in hand with our people to make sure that our country built better.
Okay, carry you back to the recount issue. How many places in the two towns or the two precincts they will be on the recount? Can you talk to the public about the polling places that the Supreme Court of Liberia, based on the complaint that instructed the NEC to go back to the district to do the recount? Can you name those places or the polling places or the number to the public?
Yes. So as it stands, in electoral district number 4, Upper Bond County, these are the precincts and polling places that will be recounted. Um, we don't know the magnitude of all of the discrepancies that took place in other parts of the district. The places that we caught, that came to us, that we had in our hands, these are the ones that we reported, and it was honored by the Supreme Court of Liberia, right? And the precinct number 6130 in Merkwa Public School, rooms number 1 and 2. And voting precinct number 6129, Yowie Public School, rooms number 1, 2, and 3. Those are the ones that we're beginning with. And I'll emphasize beginning with, because when you open the Pandora box, you get to see a lot more than many people are exposed to. And from there, we will start our next judgment. But let's start with where God has led us and be able to go through the recount successfully, give our people back a report of that recount, and then pivot to the next stages of what needs to happen next.
Another technical aspect is the issue of the series numbers.
Right.
When they are closing the ballot boxes after counting the ballot, the votes, and placing the ballot papers in the ballot boxes, do you have knowledge? Are you in position of those series numbers?
Absolutely.
You're going back to be sure that the series number given during the closing of the pool is the same series number that when they are doing the recount that will be there.
My brother,
Okay.
let God be true and let every man be a liar. As God exposed those serial numbers to us, we have every single serial number of those boxes. Closing, opening, and closing. And let it be a notice, as the Supreme Court have already stated, that there must not be a follow-up discrepancy in this case. If this one does not serve as a notice to those who decided that they were going to mess with God's children in this election, let it be a notice that don't do it again. Put that in the past as old Liberia. Where we're going now, transparency is key for our democracy. So the serial numbers are well noted, and we will expect that it will be the same when we go to open the boxes again. I do not expect that there should be any other changes. I'm sure you're going to be there too to watch, by God's grace.
Okay, any other thing before I open the telephone line to take few calls? Any other thing you want to talk about that I did not ask you of?
Well,
Just before you go to that, will you still continue initiating developments? You've been working for the people, initiating developments there. Are you not going to shy away from them?
let me, that's a great question, by the way. Thank you, Nugana, for that. I stated way before election, right? My life before election was about development. My life after election is going to be about development. It's not going to be, it is about development. As we speak now, as soon as we roll over from election day, I went to the farm. We're still planting. We're expanding our farm. We have new technology that's coming. We have first of its kind technology. I can't wait for you to report on that. In Bongese, in all of Liberia, we have a technology that will read, that will communicate directly with the ground and tell the ground will tell the technology what to plant in our ground. And that technology will report back to our database and tell us how to plant it, how much water to put on it, how much fertilizer, right? If the ground is calling for tomato, don't put rice there. If the ground calling for peanut, don't put cassava there. If the ground calling for rice, put rice there. So it's gonna tell us before people plant on the ground.
Those are the type of. It's a molly machine.
It's amazing.
Okay.
It connects with the satellite in space.
Okay.
The entire atmosphere where all of our farms are gonna be internet. They're gonna have access to internet. Okay. So people from the village that can come, tap into a local network in their villages as long as that technology is there, and peruse the internet and join the ecosystem for development. So development is running in my veins. And I always say, we did not exercise. The exercise was not
just before you continue, where that machine will be situated?
Give me $10 and I'll tell you.
No,
to begin with,
you are yet to be sound.
we have two living laboratories.
Okay.
We call it the living laboratory for agriculture. One is in Zota and one is in Panta.
Okay.
Gamu is our belt where we are exercising a distinguished lowland rice that we hope to expose that to the rest of our citizens. It is a diabetic rice that we are trying to create a market for, not just in Liberia but internationally too, so that we can be able to expand our market across the world. So one of that technology is going to go to Gamu. The other one is going to go to Shempa, where we have our two farms. We want to expand our farming throughout the district. We want to expand this development with the road. We are excited about Run Liberia again with the road. The road development is not over yet. I'm urging my citizens in Panta, please brush your road. When I drive on that road and I see grass growing on it, I don't feel good, my people. I beg you, let us take the colaces and start brushing our road so that when we start the next one, Liberia, and invite our international partners, our local partners, they can be proud of the development that you worked so hard to establish in that district. So we are still going forward with the development that we're doing now.
So in the coming years, maybe you still thinking of other developments that you can do for?
Absolutely. If we can build a road, we can build a bridge. We still need to build a bridge with local government, with national government, and connect Guinea. Open that border so that our Guinean friends can shake hands with our Liberian business friends. This is going to develop Bongese. So this is part of our agenda, is that if we can build that road, by God's grace, we can also build that bridge. And if we can build that bridge, there's nothing in the district that we cannot develop by God's grace.
Will you extend your services to other parts of the district like Quanuquanei, Panta, Zota, the same Run Liberia project?
Yes,
program will you extend?
Absolutely. We want to do Run Liberia indefinitely in these districts.
Okay.
Because it brings attention to the bad road. It brings citizens together, and we can walk together on these roads. I would love to do a Run Liberia starting from Belefanet towards Joa.
Okay.
Because that road is horrible. And, I felt bad for the citizens of Joa because that road in the rainy season, the people are like trapped. And honestly, if we had all of the means in the world, we'd love to start to rehabilitate that road. But I can't do it alone. We have to do it with government. We got to do it with friends. We have to do it with local citizens. Our citizens have to have a stake in it. That's one reason why we do Run Liberia, so the citizens can be involved in the development.
Okay.
So yes, we want to develop, starting from the bush and bring it to the city.
Bringing you back now, what else you want to talk about before I open the line? Maybe concerning the recount issues.
Well, I just want to commend again the Supreme Court, our justice system, our judges for not being biased. Because up to the minute, up to the wire, I wasn't sure how this was going to go. Honestly, I sat there scared to death because all the cases were presented and the judges did an excellent job at cross-examining every single document, cross-examining the lawyers, and the lawyers presented their cases. And I did not know what side I was going to go because it was such a tough examining that the judges passed down from the beginning. So I got to commend them, and I got to also let our citizens know and tell them thank you for being patient. And let me also encourage them that win or lose, whatever the result come out to in the end, we won. We won because justice is serving for Liberia. That's a win, right? So whatever come out of these results, let us be prepared to handshake with our people and build Liberia, build our district, and continue the development that we came to do.
Okay, well, this morning on Let's Talk, we are in conversation